Reggie Bush. Technically, I think he had to give his Heisman back, but you can see there was quite a gap between 1999 and '05, where it was just a string of quarterbacks winning the award. Reggie Bush wins the Heisman in 2005. He is one of the greatest college football players of all time. One of the most exciting, one of the most explosive. The guy was must-see TV. People thought he was going to have a Barry Sanders, Walter Payton type career in the NFL. He ends up, he was a well-deserved Heisman winner. He rushed for, almost 1,800 yards, 500 receiving yards, 18 touchdowns. He gets drafted second overall by the New Orleans Saints. Some people thought he was going to go first, but the Texans end up taking Mario Williams, who had a solid NFL career. But he played in the NFL for a long time. So it's not quite fair to put him in the bust category because he didn't win he didn't get named to any All-Pro teams, was never a Pro Bowler, but he was a solid player. He had 9,000 scrimmage yards over 11 seasons, and maybe that was kind of the problem, is that he was more of a versatile back versus he's more of a specialist, I should say. He had a lot of receiving yards. He was a great receiver out of the backfield. There were some plays where he brought back some of that college brilliance, but the gap between him and the college defenders was just obviously, much bigger than the gap between him and NFL defenders. So he wasn't able to take advantage of his explosiveness and speed and all that quite as much at the NFL level. But he was still a good player for 11 seasons. But again, not a Pro Bowler, not an All-Pro, but a solid NFL career. Next, Mark Ingram. So another player for the Saints. So Mark Ingram wins the Heisman in 2009 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. You're going to see a lot of Alabama players now. This was kind of the start of the Nick Saban era, where he was starting to get some of the most talented players in the country to come play for him. And he was a well-deserved Heisman, 1,650 yards that season, 20 touchdowns. He gets drafted 28th overall. He was a consistent power back. I believe he's still the leading rusher for the New Orleans Saints in their team history. 8,000 career rushing yards, 65 rushing touchdowns, three Pro Bowls. He had a late career resurgence with the Baltimore Ravens, kind of a second chapter of his career with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. And he was a precursor to Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson on those, in that dangerous rushing attacks. Another win for him, a good pro, almost great, not quite Hall of Fame, but he might be, in the Saints Ring of Honor, one of these days. So another big gap from 2009 to 2015 between non-quarterback Heisman winners. So Derrick Henry, another Alabama running back, wins it in 2015. He had 2,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, a very dominant college player that is now a dominant NFL player. So there were some doubters, because usually a guy like this would have gone, top 5, top 10 in another era. But he ends up getting drafted 45th overall. In 2016, he becomes the NFL rushing champ twice in 2019 and 2020. He also has a 2,000-yard season. He is still trucking one of the best running backs in the NFL, despite being 30 years old. He is a guy that took a little bit of time to get started. I believe his rookie and sophomore season in the NFL were not spectacular. Just took him a little bit of time to get settled for whatever reason, maybe just a matter of opportunity. But once he got that opportunity, he again became one of the best, most explosive running backs in the NFL. He's just a rare combination of power and speed that we probably haven't seen since like Bo Jackson or Eric Dickerson, which he's who he's often compared to because of that upright running style. But just an absolute monster of a running back. And again, another win in the success category. He has been an All-Pro and is a 3-time Pro Bowler, as of now. And who knows, he'll probably make a couple more Pro Bowls because he seems to be immune to the cliff that most NFL running backs fall off after 30. Another big gap from 2015 to 2020. Devonta Smith, a wide receiver out of Alabama, who is probably the least Heisman-looking Heisman in a long time. The guy looks like he weighs, $150, $160 soaking wet. But he has transformed into, or he's become one of the better receivers in the NFL. He's not quite a wide receiver one, but he's had the benefit of playing with A.J. Brown, who is a clear number one wide receiver, but he has had a very good NFL career. Even looking back at his college career, he had 117 catches, 1,800 yards and 23 touchdowns in that last season with the Crimson Tide. He has been named to the Pro Bowl once so far, but again, his career just started a few years ago. Posted back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and he is, helped Philly reach a Super Bowl a few years back, and then, of course, helped them win the Super Bowl last season. So a big-time player and obviously a well-deserved Heisman winner. And maybe this is a blueprint for Travis Hunter if he's going to play mostly wide receiver. They do have similar body types. Travis Hunter is not the most physically dominant guy, but he has incredible hands. He's a very fast twitch athlete. He does have a similar build to Devonta Smith, so maybe this is a good blueprint for him to follow, of course. But he will be playing on defense as well, if you believe everything that's coming out of Jackson. And of course, Travis Hunter, our most recent winner of the Heisman Trophy as a non-quarterback. So there was another big gap there from 2020 to 2024 with some guys in there like Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield and some of the other dudes that won the Heisman at quarterback. Maybe I'll do a separate quarterback pod, but the jury's out. I personally am very excited to see what this guy can do. I think it'll take his rookie year for them to really sort out what side of the ball he's going to focus on. I think he's going to start playing both ways on a Jacksonville team that is in need of some excitement on both sides of the ball. He will have the benefit of not being wide receiver one, thanks to Brian Thomas, which is going to take a great deal of pressure off of him. But he is probably already the best defensive back in Jacksonville. So the expectations are super high for him, but I think he's going to fill those shoes. I think he's going to live up to the hype. He's a good person, it seems like. He doesn't have any of these off-the-field issues. A lot of people talk about his girlfriend or fiance or wife or whatever. But all that aside, I mean, he does seem like a good kid who has a good head on his shoulders, and I think that is something he doesn't have to worry about. On the field, he does seem like a generational talent, and I think he's going to turn Jacksonville into must-see TV.